Hello, I am Endlessness and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and in this video I could give you a guide for B4 in the Brawl Battle Tower. Hell House is one of those few double element bosses, so you need both ice and fire DPS, not just either, and by now we have quite a lot of options. You can have 1 DPS with support or 2 DPS characters with each element or both, and all you need here is physical defense to counter those charged attacks of the boss, and other than this it's just offensive buffs and debuffs. And Aerith is great here because she has many useful options like Baharod, Terrarod, Cetricont or more. And yeah, we really have a lot of options for every role in the team for this battle, and I have Aerith as healer, Lucia as support with Enfeeble, and to also tickle the boss, and Cloud is my main DPS, and Cloud is primarily ice DPS, but with All Arcanum outfit and exploit weakness, he's fine with fire materia because Lucia also can buff fire damage with each cast, so it works. Aerith has Bahamut outfit with Breath of the Earth, Baharod for heals and P-Def buffs, Citric to buff ice damage, Fire Breach to lower fire resistance, and in sub-equipment slots Aerith has a Gale weapon with physical defense for allies and a physical attack for allies weapon. Lucia has Reprieve outfit with Cheering Shots to buff attack and get extra EB, Shen Rifle for Enfeeble and fire DPS, Bolt Eagle to lower ice resistance, Ice Materia, and in sub-equipment slots Lucia has a Gale weapon with physical defense for allies and a physical attack for allies weapon. Cloud has All Arcanum outfit with Shiva, Stream Saber for DPS, Fusion for attack buffs, Ice Bouncy Materia and Fire Materia for fire DPS, and Cloud has no sub-weapons, mainly because the DPS requirement for the boss isn't high, but I can recommend equipping weapons with physical ability Bouncy, so it increases damage for both elements. Alright, Hell House again, and the boss is one of the oldest bosses in Ever Crisis, and it is similar to Remake because it is switching phases, but it only has ice and fire elements. So the first one is ice and you have to deplete the gauge, so lower ice resistance, Enfeeble, buff ice damage, all those offensive buffs that you have, so you deplete it in time. Because ideally you want to deplete it to stun the boss before this attack hits. And whenever Hell House is stunned, those resistances drop, so you'll be doing a lot more damage, so this is kind of your main DPS phase. However, even if you deplete the gauge, the boss gets stunned, but its attack will not get cancelled, so you will still get hit, so be sure that you have physical defense buffs active. And actually the stun is already flashing, so alright, and also Lucia's Limit Break can buff attack with mid potency, and it has a shorter duration, but her normal ultimate weapon, not the banner ultimate weapon, it has high potency, so I recommend cast ultimate weapon first on your main DPS and then use Limit Break. But first was ice phase and now the boss switched to the fire phase, so during it the boss, you can't do any damage to the boss. You have to keep defeating those bombs, and there will be 3 waves of bombs. That was the first one, and whenever you keep defeating them you can see that fire gauge keeps depleting, but also you have to kill those bombs, otherwise when they explode they will wipe your team, so be careful and just finish them in time. But the way I do it is lower fire resistance first, then apply Enfeeble with Lucia and do that big fire hit and Cloud can finish it off. But now, after you defeat two waves of bombs, Hell House gets stunned. So you can use it to still keep doing damage to the boss. I'm just going to Shiva here. But you can use it to finish off the boss if you know that you can finish him off in time. Because if those bombs explode, it's a wipe unless you have reprieve. But if you know you can't finish, so first try to kill off the bombs. Or if you know you can still keep doing damage to the boss, it's great, but just make sure that those bombs don't explode. So just one more hit here. Cloud. And stun. Just ice buff, and also whenever the boss switches the phases, so when he is in fire phase, he'll do ice attack. And even without PDF buffs, you'll still survive it. But the third phase is Hell House will just have another fire gauge that you have to deplete. There will be no more bombs, just a fire gauge. And after this he will also get stunned again. So another main DPS phase. But during this countdown you can prepare to cast all offensive and defensive fire buffs. But this is the same gauge as in the opening. It is quite fast, but you just have to deplete it. And that was really close. I was sure that I would get hit by this, because even after you deplete the gauge, it's still that stun gets delayed by quite a few seconds. So I thought it was too late. But yeah, that's the whole thing. And Hell House is kind of a DPS race, but you have enough of those phases, even with those bombs, to finish him off. But yeah, that will be all, so good luck on your own clear, and in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next one.